And we're live.
Hooray!
Yay.
We did it.
Hi.
Hi. How's your day
How's everyone
going?
doing?
Oh, you know, the day.
Something to complain about over here.
Yeah, had better.
Yeah? You want to talk about it?
Just Reese's car broke again.
Classic.
Yeah, Reese's car broke again. The construction we've had been going on in the bathroom for like 2 weeks now. It got extended another 3 days because apparently what happened was we ordered a barn door, one of those sliding doors, and they double checked with Home Depot for what the measurements were so they could actually have everything pre-built and just install the door and be good. Home Depot told them the wrong measurements, so now they have to refix everything again for the door.
Nice.
Does like Home Depot pay the cost of that? How does that go?
I don't know. I think at this point they're not charging us because the contractors talk to Home Depot, so I don't know.
Okay. I would hope that's not on you if they screw up.
Yeah. One would hope.
Yeah.
How about you, Paul? What's new with you in the last week?
WandaVision, man.
Oh, yeah. Episode tomorrow.
New episode tomorrow. I'm excited.
So you watched the first two then?
I did. I'm assuming you did the same.
Did. Yep. Actually, I watched. So this was my Friday night. Watched one episode of WandaVision. Then we watched Pain and Gain.
Nice.
That movie.
Wow.
That's a great movie.
And weird. My girlfriend had never seen it, and I was like, "Yo, we should watch this movie." And that is a crazy Michael Bay movie about bodybuilders that kidnap a rich dude, and they're just the dumbest idiots ever. It is a weird ass movie, but I really like it.
It's a great movie.
I love that movie has to remind you halfway through it that it is based on a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely says at the beginning, unfortunately, this is a true story. And then as things are going off the rails, this is still a true story. My girlfriend couldn't believe it and like looked it up afterwards. And like everything did happen. Like they were even more like dipshits in real life than the movie portrayed.
Yeah.
But it stars Mark Wahlberg, The Rock, Anthony Mackie. And it's that movie's just so good. And then the next day we watched the second episode of WandaVision.
Okay, sure. Yeah. It's a great show. It's very weird.
I'm enjoying it.
Yep.
Paul Bettany's, I think, is just having so much fun there.
Yeah.
Being Vision.
Yeah. It's real good for sure. It's a good time.
There's also nice seeing I don't know the actress's name, but it's the mom from That 70s Show, right?
Yeah, in the first episode there. Yeah.
Yeah, which I hadn't seen. I don't think I've seen her since That 70s Show. So it was just like, oh hey, that lady.
Yep, same.
That was just kind of fun to see for sure. But yeah, no, I'm curious what's going on in the back. There's a big mystery brewing. Some weird things are going on. Some B guy. What's up with that dude?
Yeah, true.
I'm excited. I'm excited to keep going.
Me too.
I've also started watching the Snowpiercer TV show.
Okay, how's that?
It was on HBO, or they just added it to HBO. I'm quite enjoying it.
Okay.
I like the movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the guy. I would ruin his name, but the director of Parasite.
Oh, right.
And he helped a bit on the show. I think he like executive produced it, but it's really interesting. Have either of you guys seen the movie?
Yeah.
Nope.
So I'll just give you like the quick premise of the movie and how the show differs from it. So the movie is post-apocalypse. The whole world has frozen. So all of humanity got on this self-sustaining train, as much that could fit. And everyone lives on this train that just circles the earth.
Yeah.
There's a big like class divided, there's rich people up in the front and then a bunch of people being treated like horrible slaves in like the tail of the car and stuff. And in the movie it stars Chris Evans and he like fights his way through the train, yada yada yada. In the show, they mix it up because a murder takes place in the middle of the train. By the way, in the show, the train is 1,001 cars long. which is just absurd to think about.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In the movie, they just like never really mention how long it is.
Yeah.
While he's traversing it. But anyways, so in the show, a murder takes place in like the middle of the train, and they have to bring out one of the people from the tail who worked as a detective in the normal times, because he's the only person who is qualified to like find a murderer. And then so he's taken out of the tail section where he's treated like a slave basically and gets to see the train. Super engaging. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Cool.
And luckily season 2 is coming out next week. So I'm gonna have a lot to watch. I recommend that show.
Cool.
Yeah, lots of good stuff to watch this week.
For sure.
And if no one else has anything to bring up, let's do the show proper. This is the Top Down Perspective for January 21st. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
And you know what? I'm gonna start this week because I'm playing the new game.
Okay.
I'm playing the newest game that anyone I think has played here, which is Hitman 1.
Oh.
Which Hitman 1?
Okay.
The
2016,
Hitman
I'm
1.
assuming.
2016.
I thought it'd be way funnier if you were playing the very first Hitman game.
That would be funnier. Yeah.
I'm
the one that's considered so bad even IO doesn't want to re-release it.
It's weird looking back at some of those games to like the current trilogy. I'm going to talk about all of the trilogy because I've been playing bits and pieces of it, and I'm playing Hitman 3. That's the new game. But it's like weird looking back at like this was the series that like introduced those like sexy nuns for that one game. If you guys remember those trailers and all that nonsense.
I don't.
Yeah.
I remember like the weird sexy like latex nuns assassins. I forget which Hitman that was. Absolution maybe?
I think you're right.
Yes.
It was the 360 era one.
Was it 3? Yes, it definitely was a 360 era. I think it might have been the one just before this new one. Like it was the last of those Hitman games.
I think you're right.
I'm seeing this screen cap. Yeah, I do remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird series that has some weird stuff going on. Anyways, Hitman 3 was coming out. I was like, I never wrapped up like all of the bonus stuff that they added to Hitman 2. I should download that and play the DLC while I'm waiting for Hitman 3 to come out.
Sure.
I download Hitman 2, and the nice thing about Hitman 2 and Hitman 3 as well is it has the previous games from the trilogy built into it, each one with the subsequent engine. So you're actually getting like a better version of Hitman 1 inside of 2, and an even better version of Hitman 1 inside of Hitman 3, and so on. So then I actually didn't get around to that DLC. I ended up playing Hitman 1's levels because I realized I barely touched any of those. I just played Hitman 2 and like the prologue from Hitman 1 just to get my like fingers wet with that stuff. So I played through all of Hitman 1.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. Kind of caught me up, got me all used to it. And I was like, all right, here we go. And I understand there is a save transfer option for Hitman 3. So you can bring over all of your level progression for the previous games and your like account profile level into Hitman 3.
Sure.
So if you want to go back to those previous 2 games within Hitman 3's engine, you don't have to unlock all the little gadgets and the new starting locations and the suits and stuff. You'll just have that all over. You'll have your mastery levels you have unlocked.
Sure.
That was a complete shit show on Wednesday when the game came out. Everyone was trying to do this, so IO's servers were just destroyed.
Yeah, okay.
And they didn't even put the game out at like midnight Eastern time, 9 p.m. my time, and to try and get to like staggered a little bit. It all went live like on Wednesday. So everyone got access to it basically when like the Western Hemisphere was awake. That I'm sure did not help.
Sure.
What they said ahead of time, and even when you load Hitman 3 is, hey, you can play Hitman 3, but if you want to transfer your progress after you played some of Hitman 3, we're going to wipe Hitman 3. So you need to make sure if you want this progress, you should do it first. Otherwise, you're going to have to replay Hitman 3.
Huh.
So for the whole launch day, I just didn't play Hitman 3.
Right.
I would just check the site every few hours. Nope, this is still broken. I don't know what's going on here. This is still broken. I know I still had some Hitman 1 to play through, so I kind of just played a bunch of Hitman 1 on Hitman 3's release.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know, this morning Works totally fine. If anyone is doing that process, I will say, as far as the experience I had now, even when I imported all of my settings, and it said like, here's the mastery levels you have for each stage. A bunch of them were zeroed out for Hitman 2, which is not correct, but it still brought in the right info. So it might look weird and still work for you. That was just my thing about it. Anyways, all the stuff came into Hitman 3.
Okay.
I haven't played a ton of Hitman 3 because I've only had access to it today. I played the first 2 stages. That is a gorgeous looking game. Holy smokes, is it ever nice looking. I've also looked at a bit of the like platform comparison videos on like Digital Foundry and whatnot. Sure. And some of those other stages that I'm going to get to look so nice. But that first one alone, like they know it's a really good stage because there's like a certain like courtyard area. It takes place in the tallest building in the world, which like the area you're in, the top of the building is like above the clouds. Like the ray tracing, the HDR you're getting from just like the sun coming into everything looks so good. And specifically when you get to that like top floor, the camera even like pulls out to make sure you're seeing how good this area looks. Like they know this is a stunning looking spot. So that was really exciting to see. I'm looking forward to going back to some of those previous games within 3's engine just to see how much nicer they look now, and if there's any kind of difference, if I can maybe tell. I'm assuming at least with Hitman 1, which I'm more familiar with at the moment, I'll be able to tell some of the differences.
Mm-hmm.
Second stage, though, you know, I just kind of want to give you what the setting is. If you don't want to hear if you want to go into each stage blind, slight spoilers. I'm not going to tell you what the plot is of the stage, but the setting of the second stage is just a straight up Clue mansion. There's been a murder and you have to solve it because you took over the detective's disguise. It's a murder mystery mansion.
That's pretty good.
How awesome is that? Like, that's I'm talking secret passages in the walls. He had a suicide note, but it was locked from the inside. We think things are foul. Like, oh, it's so perfect. Like, it is so perfect. Like, I was straight up just walking up the stairs being like, just watch Knives Out. This is just Knives Out. This is great. I'm just playing Knives Out. Like, it is so perfect. Like, I couldn't ask for like a more perfect Hitman stage that I would want. So I'm so excited to keep going with this game because it's firing all the spots I want from Hitman, and it looks so good. It looks so nice on the new consoles.
Cool.
Also, just want to like shout out like the menu design. They haven't changed it from the first Hitman one in the trilogy. Mm-hmm. And when they're all imported in, it just like slots in perfectly. Like you hit the campaigns button and you have all 3 games there. Like it's just so well designed. Holy smokes, it's just such a great package. It's awesome that you just get all the other games when you buy Hitman 3. Like they just come in. That's super cool. So anyways, Hitman 3, yeah, I'm having a great time with it.
Cool.
I can't wait to play more of it. I'll talk way more about it next week when I played most likely all of it at this point. Mm-hmm. But right now, yeah, those are the first 2 stages, and they do not disappoint for sure.
Cool. Glad to hear it.
All right. The other ones are pretty short. I played through Donut County again because it came to Game Pass.
Right.
Donut County is fantastic. That is you play a raccoon that works for a donut company, and when you send a donut to someone who orders it, you send a hole to their property that Katamari style eats everything up, making the hole bigger, and you trap all of the citizens underground, like a kilometer underground. And you just play a bunch of wacky stages, and the writing's really funny. That's like a 1.5 hour long to play through that entire game. But I can't recommend Donut County enough. I played it like 2 years ago on the phone. I believe it was on a PlayStation back then as well. But if an Xbox is now on Game Pass. I'm not sure about Game Pass PC, but I recommend Donut County. That is a very fun game. And another small game, I played through all of Evan's Remains. This is a puzzle platformer with some visual novel elements. There's a lot of talking in between the puzzles. It is straight up just, yeah, the platforms will disappear. You got to try and figure out how to the puzzle is to get through to the next story element. Looks real good. Some nice pixel art. Music's real nice as well. Yeah, that's on the Switch. That's on everything, and I think it's like $7 $7. If puzzle platformers are your thing, maybe look into this. It's a side-scrolling one. I didn't mention that, but Evans Remains is a fun little short game. Takes about 4 hours or so. And that's all I played. So, John,
Yo.
why don't you continue?
All right. So Nintendo's had a sale running on the eShop for a while. So I looked at a bunch of games I had marked off as interesting and waited to see if they would go on sale. And sure enough, a bunch of them did. So I picked them up.
Sure.
And I played a bunch of them, starting with Wonder Boy Returns Remix, which is just Adventure Island, but it's the original version that came before Adventure Island. But it's a remix of it, so it's modern.
Okay.
There's nothing really to say about it. It's somehow easier than Adventure Island, which I guess is not really that hard to do. And it's all right. It looks cool, and it plays all right.
Cool.
80s Overdrive, which is a racing game similar to Outrun or Lamborghini American Challenge, those kind of games where you have or Top Gear, where you have like a camera behind a car and it's just going towards the screen, but like the road goes up and down, left and right, and so on, and you're racing other vehicles and dodging traffic and stuff. You earn money by racing through races and whatever your place. You can upgrade your car, you can repair your car and stuff like that. It's fun, but it has gotten to a point where it's gotten difficult because on certain tracks, if you hit anything on the side of the road, your car explodes, and then it takes a while for you to come back, and it costs a lot to fix that damage, and it also is nearly impossible to get back into the first place during it. And so far, I've been struggling in the mid races to keep up, but I am otherwise having fun with it. It looks like 30 races to do, something like that, and I've already done like 8 or 9. Grindstone, this is the one I've been playing a little bit more. I think this was in a indie direct a while back. This is basically kind of like a mobile game in where you are George, Jorj, a
mobile game. It's launched on Apple Arcade. This was one of the launch titles.
Oh, was it?
That makes sense.
Okay,
yeah, a whole bunch of Grindstone.
Yeah, no, Grindstone's great. I've been really enjoying that. It plays like a mobile game, obviously, because the idea is that you have a puzzle, like a match 3 looking puzzle, but you have to cut a path through the maze by cutting the same colored enemies. But after you've cut 10 or more, an item called a grindstone will appear, and if you put that into your combo, it lets you switch colors that you're attacking. And just as you go through the game, they add progressively more and more obstacles you need to deal with, like different enemy types that take more than one hit. You get special abilities and gear. I've been really enjoying this. It's actually really fun. And the last thing,
there's quite a bit to it.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It looks like it's got like probably 200 stages.
Yeah, and I know they've been like adding a bunch. I hadn't gone back to it after like the launch month, but I keep getting notifications from Apple Arcade being like, here's a whole new event or like quest thing you can do, and like great stuff. Great art too.
Yeah.
And I also just love when you get like a long combo, just how fast and like
it's really satisfying.
It's fun. Yeah, it's a fun combo system.
Lastly, I just started playing Resident Evil 7.
Okay. How far did you get?
Because I was welcome to the family.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I am not currently feeling it, but I also recognize I'm not that far in the game.
I think that's because it's not like a goofy Resident Evil 7. Like it's kind of a different track when it comes to the Resident Evil.
It's not even that it's not goofy. Like I can enjoy serious Resident Evil. Like 2 and 3 remake are way more serious. Sure. But the problem is like not much has happened yet. Like it's just a lot of walking around so far. So, but again, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty early in the game. So I'll give it another try probably later tonight or tomorrow and see if it holds up. But like initial impressions aren't really grabbing me like I hoped, which bums me out because today was an event for Resident Evil 8 and I looked interested in that, but this one's just, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this one currently.
Enough werewolves and tall ladies.
No, well, it definitely is lacking in tall ladies, which is disappointing, but
yeah,
it's but so far, I don't know. Like I said, we'll see. I think the other problem is I played the beginning hour demo back when that was new, and most of what you do
it's
in
similar.
this yeah, it's almost exactly the same. So right now I'm finally at a point where something new is about to happen, and I'm curious. So we'll see. That's all I've been playing.
Are you playing? What are you playing it on?
I'm playing on my PS5, but it's the
Okay.
PS4 version.
Did it get any kind of improvements with the 5? Any chance? It's kind of an old title.
I don't know because I obviously can't compare it to when it was on PS4. If there's any loading times, it's been really fast.
Yeah, I would assume
but it
just
also
by
looks.
default the loadings would be good.
Yeah.
But I'm just
I think
wondering if
actually
they
in
did...
I think in the trailer today that they put out, they made it seem like there was going to be an updated. There was like a bundle you could get that came with 7 and 8.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be like the updated version for PS5 and Series X.
I could see that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Okay. I played the Ritual of the Night Classic mode. That is Castlevania 1 with Ritual of the Night.
Good or bad?
I like Castlevania 1, so good.
Okay, perfect. That's
I don't recommend it to Sean, though, because it's Castlevania
yeah, that's what
1.
I figured.
That sounds like taking a good game and then making it bad.
Yeah, well, it is kind of like at first I didn't know what to expect because like kind of nobody did really. They just said classic mode's coming, and it's like, okay, well, we don't really know what that means. And then after the first like level, you're just like, oh, this is Castlevania redone with these assets. Okay, sure. And then it just became like, how are they gonna do this part? Oh, okay, they used that dude for this boss. That's interesting. It's fine. I was trying some like weird different stuff, so it took me a bit longer, and I hadn't played Castlevania for a while. It took me a bit longer. This is a like 2 to 3 hour thing though. It's like a quick play, not too bad, but again, it's free, so I guess I wasn't expecting a whole lot. Recently somebody was talking about Azure Striker series, and I know that Gunvolt 3 is coming at some point. So I finally started to play those games. I've had it installed for a while, so I started with Striker Gunvolt 1. I'm gonna talk about
played this last week, right?
I played Mighty Gunvolt Burst, which is the Mega Man 1 style game.
Yeah.
Azure Striker Gunvolt's basically Mega Man 0.
And I'll talk about it like Mega Man 0. If I had played this when it came out, I would have nostalgia for it, but as a playing it right now, it feels old and clunky. And
yep.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'll tell you this right now. I've played a bit of Gunvolt 1. I like it, but I'm meh on 0. I like it and I hate it.
Sure.
But a lot of people have told me if you're not too sold on 1, 2 is a lot better.
Yeah, 2's I have that Striker pack. Like I've had it installed for a while. Yeah,
so you got both.
Yeah, 2's going to get played for sure. And I bought Luminous Avenger, and I have the one that you've played or been playing, because I've played that one before. I didn't love that one, honestly, but it was okay. It was fine.
Did you? Which one did you play? Mighty Gunvolt or Mighty Gunvolt Burst?
Gunvolt Burst.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I played Gunvolt.
Burst
Yeah. This game is fun. It has good ideas. The end boss is garbage. The end, if you don't get the true ending, the ending's hilarious. It's really funny. It's just like the end. It's like just over at some point, and that's fucking great. It's one of those games though that like it's a product of its time, and if I had played it when it came out, it would be one of those games that's like, oh yeah, I loved that game. Playing it now, I don't have the nostalgia glasses for it, so it was a little more cumbersome than than I thought it would be. But like, it's not bad. It's still probably a solid 7-ish. Like I had a good time with it. Just it wasn't as solid as it felt like a bunch of good ideas that weren't completely fleshed out yet. So I'm excited to see.
I'm curious how you'll feel about the sequel then, because a lot of people have told me 2 is steps better, a bunch better.
Yeah,
and then obviously Luminous Avenger plays differently. It plays a lot faster.
Sure. Yeah.
So curious how you'll feel about that one too.
Yeah. I feel a little bit bad about it, but I don't care about the anime story shit going on in this one. I liked it in 0. I don't care at all about it in this one. There's some good stuff in there.
That's Inti though. All their stuff is like that. So
yeah, It's true. I'm looking forward to 2. I'm really looking forward to 3 because I think there are good ideas in there for sure. I really like the combat a lot of like tagging stuff and then kind of marking them for basically conducting your electric explosion essentially. There's some really cool boss fights and stuff that take advantage of that. So I'm excited to see how they play with that stuff. I know that eventually I'm going to be playing as one of the human characters from this game that you meet for a second. So that should be interesting. But yeah, I'm looking forward to where this is going. And in the vein of playing games that I had wanted to play but haven't gone around to yet, I played River City Girls with a buddy. We put a few hours into that. That game is good Scott Pilgrim. Just straight up.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I've had this game installed for a while, so.
Yeah. I guess the big difference is you can't play 4-player in this. It's a 2-player game. So we've been just going through it. It has that Scott Pilgrim feel with like good modernized fighting mechanics and like animation and stuff like that. It has a pretty good sense of humor to it. Nothing really.
Does it have online co-op?
It does not. We've been using Parsec.
No.
Yeah, so that's one of the big
Great.
problems with it is that this would have been great with online co-op for sure. It's very similar.
I heard budget issues.
Yeah,
I heard budget issues, but they're also supposedly working on a sequel.
Yeah, that would be great. People say that the ending for this game is terrible. I guess we'll see. We didn't get to the end yet.
I'm gonna tell you now. Since like that's what I said when I beat the game. I was like, I hate this ending. They have updated the ending since. I don't know what the update is, but I think it's supposedly a better ending.
When I'm done this game, I'd be interested to chat like in depth about it and see like what's different, because that's interesting to me that they changed it. I did read that they changed it after a lot of people were upset with it, so that's cool. It's fine. I think there's more references in here than I'm catching on to in a lot of things. Like there's a lot of references to other games and to random YouTubers for whatever reason and all that sort of shit in there. It has a good sense of humor though about it. I like the 2 main characters quite a bit. It's always fun when you get a new move from the dojo and you get just more powerful in this game. It's a very cool game. And since it's on Game Pass, people should get Game Pass and try it out. It's a really, really good game. It's going to be hard I've been playing like Scott Pilgrim on my own as well, just because that's what I do. I needed a podcast game for a while. I don't think I can go back though, because this game is just so much better moving and playing again. The thing about this game that it doesn't have is that it's not Scott Pilgrim based. That's like the only knock against it, and even that's just like, who cares at some point.
Scott Pilgrim's rough.
It's hard to go back to. It's yeah, that game's weird. That's a weird game because it's like difficult at first and then it's too easy and then it's difficult again. Yeah, Scott Pilgrim has problems to it, but it still has a place in my heart. I reinstalled Genshin Impact and have been using that as my podcast game just when I need something to do for a little bit. And it's been fine. Nothing special or new going on in there. I think there have been events and stuff, but I don't know what they've been. I'm still just kind of picking flowers and attacking blobs and watching numbers go up and then turning it off. So
missing out on those exclusive anime ladies.
Yeah, I feel like I probably have missed out on a lot because somebody was saying there's 28 characters in that game now, and I don't know how many there were, but that seems like a high number. So, who knows? That's all I've been playing.
All right, let's do some news. There's a little bit of news.
Okay.
This first one is that Golf with Your Friends, the developer, just got acquired by Team 17, which that's great for me. That just means there's going to be some more Golf with Your Friends.
Yeah,
which I always want more of that. Team 17 also publishes like Overcooked, so they've had some great success there. They also put out the Worms games, and I think the Worms stage on Golf with Your Friends is extremely obnoxious. All I can assume is there's going to be more Worms stages, and I'm just hoping that's not the case.
I was under the impression they owned Golf with Your Friends because of that. Because that Worms stage has been in there for a while. I didn't realize that they didn't own that studio or whatever. So
they published the game, apparently.
Oh,
yeah. The game developed by Brisbane-based Blacklight Interactive was published by Team 17 in May 2020. I guess that's when it came out of early access.
Yeah.
With the label also contributing to development. Team 17 announced the acquisition of the rights and assets for Golf with Your Friends are now theirs for 12 million euros.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Good for them.
Yeah, I'm just excited that there will be more Golf with Your Friends because I want more of that.
Sure.
And I hope they don't like fix that game because that game is better when it's like kind of broken and janky.
Yeah, that's true.
In other news,
that was 12 million pounds, not euros.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Sure.
Level 5 Games announced Puzzle Quest 3 is coming this year.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool.
Play some more Puzzle Quest.
It feels like it's been a while.
They just re-released 1 a year or 2 ago, right? I got that when they re-released it. I haven't played 2. But anyways, I'll play some more Puzzle Quest, sure.
Looks like this one's gonna be free to play.
Oh, well. Cool. Hopefully it's okay. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
This is more of a PSA, but Jason Schreier, everyone's favorite investigative reporter, did it again and got a real good behind-the-scenes, super long report on inside Cyberpunk 2077's disastrous rollout. That's the title of the thing. So if people want to kind of hear some firsthand accounts of what's going on at CD Projekt Red, this is the guy you want to have collect these stories and put it together. I absolutely loved his Anthem article that he did in this same style. So I'm excited that there's one of these for Cyberpunk. I haven't read the whole thing myself, just a lot of these.
Oh, I have. It's fucked up.
Sounds crazy, the little bit I have read, but if anyone's interested in Cyberpunk's development, this is the article you want. This is the guy you want reporting, and it is out. This is over on Bloomberg.com, but you can just search up Jason Schreier and Cyberpunk, and I'm sure you'll get it.
It's infuriating to read. It's the same fucking thing as the Anthem thing of, hey, we made Witcher, we'll make it work, and then they just didn't fucking do anything for years. Like,
yeah, that was one of the things.
It's fucking infuriating to read, for sure. Crazy.
Glad reporting like this is happening. Like, these are super fascinating stories. So
yeah, important to get that shit out for sure.
MAGfest, we talked about it a few weeks ago, how it seemed like it was imploding. Sounds like they're turning a corner and they're trying to bring it back. John, I'm assuming you've been following this more than me.
Yeah, more or less.
So if you want to take over and explain,
there's really not much to say here with this. The TLDR is that the board of directors was considered to be the main issue, what people were protesting against, and they stepped down.
Oh,
they've got a new board. They've got a new 6 members of the board of directors. They've got a new head of the board, and
I think so. I'm just looking at the article. 6 stepped down. The new board is 3 people.
Oh no, there's 3 people that weren't asked to step down, as far as I'm aware of.
Oh, okay.
Or actually, I might be wrong about that. Maybe it is the whole board. Hang on.
I'm looking at their TLDR. All 6 volunteer board of director members have resigned effective immediately. 3 new board of directors have been voted on. More information soon. That's their TLDR.
Okay, yeah. So I guess they just wiped the entire board. So yeah, no, it's they're going to be basically starting from scratch, which is a very, very high hill to go up. They're going to have a lot to worry about and work on, but it seems to be a good sign. A lot of people seem to be hopeful.
I'm assuming from like a convention standpoint, it'll be fine. It just seems like it's going to be double the work for these, I guess, volunteer people.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of work to do. I'm curious what their first one will look like. Luckily, conventions aren't happening, so they have some time to kind of build things up.
They basically got a year to figure it out.
Yeah. I guess that's good to see. That's probably the best outcome people could have gotten. So,
pretty much at this point, yeah.
Congrats to fans of MAGfest.
Yep.
The Uncharted movie has been delayed. A whole bunch of movies got delayed, but in terms of video
Shocking.
game news, the Uncharted movie has been delayed. It was supposed to come out July of this year. It is now February 11th of 2022.
Okay.
I'll just read these other movie delays because I have them in the article here. The James Bond is never coming out, as it seems. That movie got delayed from April to October. I didn't know Edgar Wright had a new movie, but now I'm interested in whatever Last Night in Soho is, and that got pushed from April to October. And Ghostbusters Afterlife got pushed from June to November.
Okay.
There you go.
Makes sense.
That Uncharted movie ever come out? Who knows?
Who knows, man?
On the last one was the Resident Evil 8 stuff. You guys, I'm assuming, both watched the thing. Did you guys want to talk about what was shown there?
I was one of the co-streams, so I got to comment live alongside it officially and give out some avatars.
Oh. Is there a tall lady avatar?
There was. Apparently that one's already free. You can just go get that now.
Makes sense.
Sweet. Free tall ladies.
Yeah, that's the one everyone wants. So.
Speaking of, I'm going to go get that right now. No. Yeah, so they finally gave it an official release date, May 7th. They announced a new multiplayer mode. What was it called? Was it Revive or something? Yeah, Reverse. That's what it is. So it's a multiplayer shooter where you play as just the various characters from Resident Evil. So you have like Leon, Claire, Jill, Carlos, etc., running around. And it seems like when you get killed in the game, you turn into one of the monsters from the game. So specifically, they showed Leon getting shot and turning into Nemesis.
Is that canon?
No, but that would be kind of badass.
It is now, I guess.
All right.
But no, it looked cool, and they said it was free, so it's probably gonna be doing what they did with Resident Evil Remake 3 and be resistance mode. So I guess it'd be like that equivalent. What else did they show off? They showed off actual gameplay, which was just it's 7, but more actiony. Like they showed him picking up machine guns and shotguns and stuff. The inventory system is back to being the attaché case from 4, which I'm actually really excited about because I love that system. And that was kind of it. They showed a tiny trailer for the next CG movie, which is coming out on Netflix some point this year. Was that it? I think that was actually it.
Isn't it a show? Aren't they doing a show?
They're also doing a show, but also they're doing another CG movie with Leon and Claire.
Okay. Also a demo out, or it's coming out.
The demo is out now for PS5 users.
For PS5, yeah.
Right on. All got that FOMO?
For the thing, yeah.
Demo, yeah. I assume so.
They did say that an actual, more detailed demo will be going out eventually on all platforms, but right now the demo was just exclusive to PS5.
Yeah, I'm sure Sony gave them some money for that exclusive, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Right on. Okay, cool.
No, one last news
let's
thing.
do some questions.
That it wasn't pulled for some reason. Honey Pop 2 coming out February 4th.
I'm amazed they didn't aim for Valentine's Day.
It might be 8th, actually. My bad. Hold on.
I'm legit surprised they did not aim for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it seems kind of weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
February 8th, my bad.
Yeah, you're close enough. You could just put it out a week later, 6 days or whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't.
All right, any more surprise news before I play the sound effect for the audio listeners after the fact?
No, go ahead.
Right. Questions.
There it is. Yeah.
If you would like to send in a question, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box.
And I need to stop you before you read this out because we actually got a mail one.
Whoa, these are always super exciting. Holy smokes.
Dear Top Down Perspective. What are the ways you can send in questions? Your viewer, Decoy Troy.
John, do you want to answer?
I could. Do you guys think you know? I'm curious if you guys know. Having heard it enough.
No,
Yeah?
I have no idea.
It's like, to me, it's almost like muscle memory at this point. I don't even have to like think about it. It just kind of goes through it.
Do you even know what you're saying, or does it just happen? Like, do you think about it?
It just happens. I was literally just thinking about that last time. Like, it just kind of, once I start, I can just get through it and I don't even have to think about what needs to be said.
Do you mention the Discord, by the way? I mean, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, the Facebook, Twitter, and John's P.O. Box.
You screwed up.
No, I didn't.
No, I don't even mention the Facebook. You haven't heard of it,
you don't,
I guess.
Yeah,
No.
I don't listen to you at all, actually.
Yeah.
That's like a fun little bit of trivia. Like if there was like let's do a trivia thing about top-down perspective. It's like, could you say the thing? Do you hear it every week? Every week I say the same thing. Don, do you think you could do it?
I don't know, it's been so long. I don't know if I can do this.
It's been like 8 minutes.
Topdownperspective@gmail.com, TDP Podcast on Twitter, John's P.O. Box. Oh, I missed one. What did I miss?
The Discord channel and John's P.O. Box.
I said my P.O. Box. I just didn't say Discord channel.
Yeah. Yeah,
if you would like to send in a question.
Yeah.
topdownperspective@gmail.com, @TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel.
Oh, fuck off. You're going to get upset about me not saying on Twitter. Fuck off.
I say the exact same thing every time. I'm just wondering if you could do this whole thing.
I didn't realize I had to say it fucking that verbatim. Come on now.
Every week. It doesn't change. And that's because I have it written out in front of me right here. No, I don't. I'm kidding. I don't.
That'd be kind of weird.
It's great. I'm glad someone did that. Thank you. As you people can see, it works. Keep it up.
Yeah.
I'll read this next one from Alexander. Gang, so I decided I wanted to try clearing more of my games this year and came upon a strange sort of conundrum. Some of the games I own, I'm not sure whether to consider them cleared. Like John says, he usually considers a game cleared when the credits are triggered, but not all games fall into that category.
Sure.
Like Stardew Valley, there's no moment when the credits are triggered. Would it be cleared if I finish the community center or when I get Grandpa's evaluation or some other event? Or Monster Prom, you trigger credits for that really quickly, but it encourages you to do multiple runs because it's super easy to screw up and get rejected. And part of the fun is seeing all the events. Basically, if a game doesn't seem to have a clear ending condition, when would you consider it cleared?
So I need to write a distinct difference with this because they left this part out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I split them between beat and complete.
Sure.
So that's the thing. Complete is doing everything in the game. Beat is, you've gotten to a point where the game gives you credits.
Sure.
There are little caveats to that, like, it can't be like a fake ending, like, oh, you got like you died in this part ending, that here's credits, you lose, haha, funny. Like Disgaea does that. Like if you lose to the first major boss fight, it gives you credits and it technically has an ending. Technically in Nier Automata, like if you die to the first boss, you get an ending. I don't count that either. Like it's within reason. Right? Yeah, they also play a significant portion of the game for it to count. But sure. But they're right.
Nier, you need to fall in that category. Like the 3 main playthroughs to beat that game. Yeah,
no, Stardew is an interesting one because it's a game that doesn't end. So at that point, it is pretty much up to you to decide where you want that marker to end. Usually for a game like that, it's got to be after you've done all significant major story accomplishments. Like, I think the community center is a pretty good marker for that, or Grandpa's evaluation. Either of those are good markers.
Sure.
I think of like Animal Crossing just as something similar to Stardew. It's like if you get all of the like house upgrades, like you've paid off all the debt.
Yeah.
Consider you've kind of beaten it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Same here. Like with Animal Crossing New Horizons, at least has like a point where they want you to do a bit of story, and then they show you credits during the KK Slider concert. You could argue that's an ending because of that. After that, the game's like, yeah, just do whatever you want. But I argue yeah, the house expansions also is the marker for that. So yeah, it's just a per game thing. Honestly, there's no definitive answer for this question.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a per game thing. Like I even think of like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You can't see the credits unless you just select credits from the main menu if you want to watch the credits. But like that thing has like 5 different endings depending on like what you wanted to focus on. Like it just keeps going. There was always more you can play through that game for sure. This reminds me of the kind of the little discourse that happened online back when Her Story came out. That doesn't have a definitive ending. I remember the developer basically saying like, "Oh well, you know, it's over when you like, you know, you feel like fulfilled that you've gotten the story." And then someone's response online was, "Well, how do I know when I feel fulfilled?"
Yeah, I remember
just kind of
that.
like, but come on, like, take a step back and look at what you said to me, sir.
Yeah,
because no, that one you just, you know, it's a game where you just type in keywords and a new video pops up and you watch that video, and as you do that more and more you kind of figure out what the story happened and you kind of just keep going. I'm sure you could see all the videos, but at some point you kind of like put enough of it together where like, I have seen what happened, I have solved the mystery, I'm good. You have to kind of make that decision for yourself. And yeah, so I'm echoing John.
yeah. I just realized I don't play games that don't have credits, basically. Probably for this very reason.
No, you don't
it's
think
also it's also entirely possible just that a game just doesn't end.
Mm-hmm.
There are some games designed to not end. So
yeah, I mean, hell, I just
reinstalled
the
okay
Division
with that at a certain point.
So, you know. All right, Chef LaGameBoy writes in, as we all know, Nintendo's management is full of stubborn old farts who hate change, fan projects, and pro-consumerism in general. But, since they are stubborn old farts, they're certainly close to retirement. Is it possible their next management shakeup will make Nintendo more open to these sorts of things?
Maybe, but it's not guaranteed, because never forget that nepotism is a thing. So they might just promote people that kind of have similar or same mindsets.
True.
I want to say there will be a change, like a shakeup at some point.
Oh, extremely.
I can't remember which game it was, but I remember hearing kind of the anecdote that I want to say it was either Breath of the Wild or it was Odyssey or something around there. They had a lot of like fresh new blood working on those games, which kind of caused them to mix things up a bit already.
I think, yeah, Breath of the Wild and Splatoon both had those.
Maybe it was Splatoon. That might be what I'm thinking of. I really can't remember what game it was, but I remember hearing an anecdote that there was a specific game where it's like, no, we actually had a lot of new young people working on this game. So I want to say those people are in there and they are coming up, and it's just going to be a matter of time before they're in like more leader roles and can kind of touch like the big boys, you know, your Marios and really grab the reins and whatnot. I also know Japan has a culture of people kind of staying at their jobs for a long time.
Forever. Yeah.
So it'll take longer than your typical Western developer. But I think it'll happen for sure.
Yep. Follow-up question. If not, what do you think it would take to get Nintendo to be more open?
Losing market share.
Yeah, losing influence or money, like enough that they care about it.
Yeah,
for sure. Probably more influence in the market because they have money to last forever. Money doesn't hurt them that much.
Yeah, like, because I'm trying to think, like, when they have had like setbacks, you look at like the GameCube a little bit, but specifically like Wii U. I feel like they didn't make any drastic changes to get out of that.
No.
Maybe they weren't in a hole long enough. The only thing I can really think of in terms of some kind of changes, they tried to play the power game and keep up with everyone into the GameCube, and then they eventually said that is not a fight we want to be a part of. We're going to do our own thing, and then that's been paying dividends for them that I can't see them like switching back in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. John, why don't you take this next one?
Chef the Game Boy writes in and says, oops, sorry, that's the one we just did. Kevin writes in and says, I hate dungeons. They're dull, ugly, depressing, and cliche. Why do video games have dungeons?
They're classic.
Because usually bad things happen there.
Yeah.
Assuming based on like the dull, ugly, depressing, he's thinking of like a medieval dungeon.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I feel like at this point, a lot of times, like I think of like the Yakuza series, and the dungeon is a corporate headquarters that you're running through and fighting people in, which is much different. But maybe I'm wrong. Like, how are you guys interpreting this?
No, I think you're right. I agree with you on that.
It's like a medieval dungeon.
I mean, I play D&D. I think of medieval dungeon. Always.
Medieval. Okay, sure. Yeah, I guess it's just like the default. Then people like that setting. I don't know. Like, it's, like I said,
It's definitely a situation people just like the setting, and it's easy to work with. They're right. It's cliche, but cliches usually exist because they work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying. Like, so why is it so easy to work with? You got hard walls that people cannot get through, so they have, you got prison cells right in there. Because when I think of like corporate headquarters, it's like, well, I could break a cubicle if I needed to, so maybe this isn't really like a threatening place.
Sure.
That's probably the main case of it. Is like John mentioned earlier, they are scary places you don't want to be in a medieval dungeon. Nothing good comes from a medieval dungeon. No one wants to have the birthday party at a medieval dungeon.
Yeah. You're kind of supposed to hate dungeons, so
yeah,
it makes sense that you do.
And Nazis make great villains in video games and Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. The other question they send in is, what game has the most yelling? Serious Sam.
Yeah, probably Serious Sam. It's true.
It literally has an enemy that yells at you to show that they're coming when they're not even on screen yet.
Yep.
What about Borderlands?
Borderlands also has a lot of yelling too. I'd give them that.
That's a good amount.
About Astra's Wrath.
I knew it was going to come up. Yep.
Lots of yelling there.
A lot of Okay. GS writes, if you had to turn a game franchise you hate into one you like, what would you pick and what would you change about it? Go as extreme or wild as you want.
As you hate.
Madden, make it more arcadey. Sure, make it NFL Blitz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I'll take a one I hate.
I'm trying to think of ones I hate.
I think I don't think I hate anything, but I dislike Dynasty Warriors games. So I'll pick a Dynasty Warriors series, whatever you want. What would I change? I would change so much about it. It's like it wouldn't be. It definitely wouldn't be a Dynasty Warriors game again. First off, I'd give it like a good story. But I would change everything about the combat. I would take away 99% of the enemies so that each fight is meaningful. That would still probably leave you with like 100 enemies. That could fill a game.
Sure. Franchise I hate.
I don't know. You don't like Animal Crossing. Go do Animal Crossing.
I don't hate Animal Crossing. It's just...
I didn't say you hate it. I'm just giving you one to do.
All right. What would I change about it? I would give it a purpose for playing it. I don't like just being like, here, do stuff and pay off like your rent, essentially. I give it
more than like the house
objective
expansions.
Or something. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Lineback asks or says, you're given a chance to do the 2021 Game of the Year podcast episode on the International Space Station, provided you go through the needed training. Do you consider it worth doing?
Hell yeah.
I would absolutely not do that. Fuck space.
No?
Nope.
The opportunity to go to space? Yeah, why not? I would love that.
Yeah, I don't want to go to space.
Training would be hard though, but another part of me is like, I want to see if I could withstand the training.
I would like to see the like G-force machine and stuff like that. I think that would be neat.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd totally be down for that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely not. Which horror movie franchise do you feel you have the highest chance of survival in? I mean, it's probably Child's Play, right? It's a fucking doll.
Yeah, it was like demonic.
You say that, but the doll keeps messing up people. Like,
not
clearly
many,
a threat.
Not many people, though.
I was gonna say Saw, because all you have to
do
is fucking listen.
Oh, I see. I think Saw's the hardest because you are actually trapped in a place. Like, at least with a lot of the other ones, theoretically, I could try to run away. Not
I
trapped in like I'm not like chained to a bar in a dirty bathroom. God knows where.
Sure. The weird thing about Saw though is that if you're not like in Jigsaw's like sights, you're fine. Like he doesn't care about you, right? Like he only grabs
you could
certain
say that
people.
about any of these killers.
Yeah.
Right? Couldn't you say that about any of these killers?
Yeah, probably. Most
Would
of
a
them,
cheap answer be like It, because I'm not a kid? So I'm not no, because in It too, he goes after the adult versions of the kids,
but
right?
yeah, but they were kids when he was first trying to get them, so
right. So as long as you
Got
have
history.
made it through adolescence without seeing a creepy clown, you're safe.
You're good. Yeah, that's true.
Checks out.
Okay. Maybe Child's Play is the right answer because you just have to outrun the doll.
I mean, the reason why he gets them is because they don't expect the doll, which is fair. But if you kind of know that you're in that franchise, and it's like, well, I'm gonna look out for the doll, I guess.
Well, I think to make this question fair, you don't know you're in the movie.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you're basically
Yeah.
until the enemy is going to spring at you in one way, and now the question is, can you escape this enemy?
Yeah. I still think it's Child's Play.
Outrunning the doll sounds easier than outrunning like a grown man with a knife or whatever, or an invisible guy.
So in Child's Play 1, he kills like 4 people total.
Yeah, but like Halloween 1, he kills maybe 4 people. Like the first movie, they barely kill anyone, and then it just kind of ramps up from there.
And then he follows you to the International Space Station, and you get the 6th one out in space.
Yeah, Jason X.
Hey, man, I won't hear any Jason X trashing in this house.
There's no trashing. It's one of the best ones. He smashes that girl's head after freezing it. It's great. Also, he beats the one girl that's in the stupid the sleeping bag against the other one, and it just looks so stupid.
Oh, was that Jason X? I thought that was like number 9.
There's 9?
Jason X isn't the 10th one. That's why it's called X.
Oh, I thought it was just extreme.
No,
it was in
it actually was the 10th Friday the 13th movie.
It is pretty extreme, though. Also. Good shit.
Okay, whose turn is it? Is it mine or is it John's?
It should be mine.
Where are we on
Hebrew
here?
Lantern writes in and says, does Tom from Toonami count as a VTuber?
I don't know what that is.
Yes.
I don't know who this is.
So on Toonami, they had like a little a CG spaceman who would like do reviews for video games and talk about like upcoming cartoons and stuff like that. But it's
like
also voiced by Steve
shows,
Bloom.
like
in between shows, yeah.
Sugar from the Zone and all those other people.
But it's a CG character.
Oh,
in
yeah,
like a spaceship.
Yeah,
like
that
Snit,
sounds right.
Snit Station for all the Canadians.
You know what?
Oh,
Snit's a great comparison.
Nice.
Oh no! Snit was a TV that they made have like eyeballs on it, and then they filmed someone's mouth.
Yep.
And like a lot of gums, and would put that on the TV when it talked.
Yep.
Oh my god, I forgot how horrific it is.
Yeah.
Dude, all those monsters they used in like the early 90s and Snit, they're all really weird. I'm trying to remember what the name of the Muppet equivalent they had was. They were like they sounded like Pogs, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Wait, what channel was the Muppet on?
Grogs, I think that was it.
Grogs.
This Toonami?
Grogs were the different puppet characters on various YTV programs between 92 and 94.
Oh, that might be before me. Grogs. What is Grogs? Yeah, this is... I don't recognize Grogs. Just some 90s ass hair, though.
Oh my god.
I do remember this,
I do remember
PJ
Grogs.
Phil.
Yeah, PJ Phil.
Warren Chester Grog.
And your time.
Yeah, so is it a VTuber?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Tom from Toonami counts.
Okay. It doesn't have to be like an online thing to be a VTuber?
I would argue he gets more broadcast time than any actual VTuber does.
Sure.
Makes
I remember they called them on the Zone, they called them VJs.
Yep.
So instead of DJ for disc jockey, it was video jockey.
Yep.
Maybe that's just what turned into VTuber. They used to be called VJs back in my day.
Well, PJs, program jockeys.
Oh, okay. That's what the P one was for. I heard VJs, so I don't know. I guess if you evolve into the VTuber. That's the 21st century one.
Yep.
All right, Suku writes, well, I just learned that different versions of Metroid Prime have a bunch of changes made to it. Does the collector care about collecting every version of a game's release, or is it all for the most part not different enough?
All right, so I can. This is in response to me. I started playing through Metroid Prime for game clearing this week,
right?
Yep. And I have what's the version, a 1.0 version, which is the original release, which is the speedrunners version because it has a bunch of glitches. Later versions of the game fixed a couple sections and like patched out a lot of glitches. So I think this is mainly what they're referring to. There's like 3 or 4 different versions of this game released, each with different glitches and glitch sets. I'm going to say as a collector, holy shit, no. You do not want to know how many versions of your favorite games out there exist, because sometimes the tell is literally like halfway through the game that it's a different version. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is the perfect example of this. There's like 6 versions of that at least. Don't.
I guess it depends, like what kind of a collector you are. Like, are you a collector of specifically Ocarina of Time versions? Then yeah.
If you're that like specifically looking into it, then yeah, sure, maybe. But again, some of them you can't tell unless you play the game X amount of time. And yeah, Lineback in chat brings up a good point. You really only care about versions if you're a speedrunner.
Sure. Yeah. And I was just about to say, like, it's also a lot harder for like current games because they get patched so frequently.
Yeah.
If you need every version, you need like a physical one, or you need like one saved on a hard drive that's not connected to the internet. So you can say, yeah, I do have version 1.03 here. I haven't let it update. Like, what? That's weird.
Some people do that.
I guess, yeah.
Sometimes you need the copy of Resident Evil with the uncut beginning in color, and that's only available in the Japanese PC release, though, for Windows.
The sad thing is I can't tell if you looked that up or you just knew that.
I know that. I know a lot about that first game. That has
sometimes you need the version of Spirit Tracks that came out in Europe because it makes Link look happy in it as opposed to angry like the North American box art.
Is that true? Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's got Kirby Syndrome. Kirby Syndrome.
Yeah, they did it with Kirby as well. Kirby's always angry in North America.
Nice weird.
He's finally allowed to be happy now in North America.
Oh, that's good. He got his visa. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
I think Phantom Hourglass also had that as well. I think Zelda's friendlier or something. I can't quite remember.
VGC Kenny writes, what are your thoughts on fan fiction? And is this a second question? Okay, there's a few questions here. Okay, what are your thoughts on fan fiction?
It's fine. Let people do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Would you ever consider publishing some of your own? I say publishing because I feel at some point we all make up stories about the things we like.
That would require me actually putting the effort of writing it down.
Yep. I'm with you. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to think of like when is the last time I wrote fan fiction? I was like 8, maybe. So no, I don't really write fan fiction.
Yep, sure.
To publish.
If I did, I would. Why not? The
Yeah,
internet
cool.
is great for that. Also, would you consider Mario Maker levels or level edit hacks of games to be a type of fan fiction? That's an interesting question.
In a way, you could say it's that way. I mean, that's what mod means. It's just a modification of the game.
Yeah.
So for like game hacks would just be mods essentially.
But the word fiction though, doesn't there need to be some sort of narrative?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So unless
Mario Maker levels, I would argue not really.
Maybe
Sure.
not, unless you were telling a story with them. Then I could also just argue, like, well, the story from that level is the fan fiction, is the level itself.
But you're also using the tools the game gave you to make that, so I don't know. Like, I would argue, like, with Dreams or Little Big Planet, it would still be tough to say that. But you would be more open to doing it in those games than in Mario Maker.
Yeah.
If we extrapolate this, if I design a sidewalk, is that fan fiction?
I don't get how this relates.
Okay, that might be going too far. I'm gonna say no.
A Mario Maker level.
That's just called engineering.
A custom stage. So I'm just kind of playing with that.
Yeah, no.
I made a custom sidewalk for my yard.
Yeah, no. I'm not thinking Mario
sidewalk.
Maker.
But does the sidewalk already have pre-existing lore?
Oh, that's a good point.
Fan fiction requires pre-existing lore.
Sure. Okay. Right, because of the fan part.
So tell me the lore of your sidewalk.
Well, maybe I destroyed my sidewalk to make a better one.
No, that's just called vandalism, dude.
No, I move into a house. I bought this sidewalk, or a walkway. Let's say that I bought the walkway with my house. Didn't like it, so I, took a sledgehammer and I built a new sidewalk.
Well, the new fan fiction is the fact that you're gonna get sued by the council because usually the city owns the sidewalk and not you. But
okay, the walkway leading to the sidewalk that I own, that you own. What if I did it to that, right?
Again, I don't. You're not really rewriting the fiction of it. You're just giving it a new coat of paint, essentially.
Okay, well then, so we're saying no. Mario Maker levels are not fan fiction.
Yeah, I'm not thinking Mario Maker. I'm thinking more ROM hacks and like stuff like that. That is definitely a sort of fan fiction. Some of those.
I think fan fiction requires actual storytelling. If your Mario Maker level tells a story, then I will count it. But if it doesn't, if it's just a playable stage, then no. That's the line I'm going to cross. It needs to have predetermined lore,
some kind of narrative.
It needs to have pre-existing lore, and it needs to have additional lore with the creation you've made.
Okay. Sure.
I think I agree, because I think if you swap out the lore for mechanics, which is what they're doing here by asking it to be like a level, I think we call those different. We call those mods. We call those custom stages. I think we just wouldn't title it fan fiction, despite us doing kind of this, like the same transition is happening, but we just have different names for them, I think.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Rasterman says, has there ever been a show or book with a particular scene that you distinctly remember, for better or worse, despite not going back to it in years? All the fucking time.
Yeah, I would be surprised if you didn't. Like, I think most things you're going to remember something from it, right?
Yeah, like Indiana Jones. I always remember the gun scene. And you can say the gun scene, and people 9 times out of 10 know exactly what you're referring to.
Yep.
But I haven't watched an Indiana Jones movie in probably a decade.
Yeah, I feel like if you can't remember a single thing from it, it was probably not a very good thing. It probably wasn't that bad either. It was just a completely forgettable experience that didn't stick with you. But like, I think about some of my favorite shows or movies, and I have a favorite moment from each one of them. So yada yada.
Yep.
And Sky writes, have you ever had a general purpose third-party controller you actually prefer over the first-party alternative? This could include fight stick setup or a turbo controller.
I feel like this is more common now because like 8BitDo makes controllers for retro systems and stuff like that, which some people tend to like more. But otherwise, growing up, no, not really.
Still no for me.
I'm going to say no. I'm also going to say I'm a little ignorant towards like where third parties are at because I grew up with every third party being bad. So I just have a general distrust in them. 8BitDo one is probably the one I would look to first, but even though I doubt I would prefer it over my first party alternative.
Yeah, I think so too.
The only one I could see is if you prefer a fight stick, because I know those things are actual quality.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's going to do it for questions this week. If you would like to send in questions next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. Now I'm almost doing it just to see how fast I can do it, but I know it's going to get harder to hear, so I have to stop that impulse. What's your game of the week?
River City Girls.
I already forgot what I played. Grindstone.
Nice.
Mine is Hitman 3. And with that, the February TDP Plus poll is live. So if you're a patron, go vote on what you would like us to play through and discuss at the end of next month. And next week is the end of this month. So we will be doing our Call of the Sea episode. I think. So get excited for that. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Confidence. Bye, everybody.